What's up, YouTube? We're back with another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing? Today, I've got a really interesting find for you guys. This place was built around 1977. It's a mansion that's about 4,500 to 5,000 square feet, and it's been sitting abandoned now in a static state for over 10 years with no plans for any redevelopments to take its place. The place I'm talking about is this incredible, really interesting place behind me here. I think this is gonna be a wild one. So why don't we take a walk around the property, then get inside, see what we can figure out about this place. All right, guys, we're gonna start today's adventure just outside the front of the house here at the end of the driveway. We're gonna take a quick walk around the property, and then we'll work our way inside and see what this place is all about. Like I mentioned in the introduction, this place was built in 1977, and it's been sitting abandoned now for nearly 10 years, and there still are no plans to replace this place. So it just sits here in a static state, slowly decaying away. And right away, I gotta show you, when you get to this house, it seems like a grand location. You have these incredible lights that are at each end of the driveway, each side of the driveway here, to greet you on your drive in from your long day at work. And then of course, as you pull up to this house, you have a beautiful driveway. You have to imagine it because it's snowed, but the driveway goes around this garden that's in front of me here, comes down this side and back out. Just an incredible roundabout driveway to a really interesting home. And what's even crazier, this place has 3 garages that are staggered too. So you could drive right into those garages from here, or you could drive around the front, drop somebody off at the front door or whatever, and then leave. So why don't we work our way up to the house this way? Of course, this is the garden in the middle here. It's very hard to see now, but you can see it is very overgrown. Nobody's taking care of it in quite some time. You can see there's some rocks there. So at one point, the landscaping here was probably outstanding. And of course, you can see they had lights running along the side of the driveway here. Of course, those would have been very beautiful lit up at night. But yeah, look at this place. Wow. Very interesting place. Most unusual place we've ever been to, I think. I actually don't know what to expect when we get inside. Of course, if you go this way, the side walk around to the backyard, looks like there's a lot of collapsed trees and tree branches, but it is completely overgrown. And there's absolutely no way you're working your way through that to get back there. But look at this. You go this way. I almost wonder at one point if maybe a carport was here, because you have these brick pillars standing here with nothing on top of them. They really don't seem to have any other purpose. So I wouldn't have been surprised if at one point there was like some kind of a carport or something in front of the house here, giving some shelter to anybody that might pull up to the front door. Of course, as you walk over here, got a beautiful double door going into the front of the house there. And I love how it has the symmetrical windows on each side. Of course, you can see the lights. They're original to this place. They were original when it was built. The one on the left there has had better days. It's kind of falling to the side now. But a great feature I can already see about this place is the amount of windows. You got tons of windows in the front face of the house already. You got some there. You got the ones by the door. And as you go along this side over here, you got more on that wall there. Just incredible. And again, those pillars, very interesting on their own, but there must be something that was taken down that was probably above them. So as we work our way around here, you can see this place has a very interesting garage. It looks like this side of the house is just all garage, but it's staggered. So I'm assuming each level that it comes out can handle more storage. So you can put like a tractor trailer in that one, a big van in that one, and a Dodge Neon in that one. It's crazy, but it's cool. Very interesting design. Of course, that's what this place looks like from over here. So let's work our way around this way. See what's around back, if we can get back there. Again, even the wood paneling above the doors, that's probably original when it was built. They painted it white, but I bet you at one point, all the wood paneling on this house was probably brown. Probably matched the brick. Okay, so we're gonna work our way around back. Oh, look at that, they still have lumber for the fireplace here. It would have been beautiful on a day like this. It's getting quite frigid out here. Okay. So we have a walkway going down to the back, and you can see it's a huge yard. It extends all the way to that gazebo that's back there. Look at that deck. Of course, this is the back side of the garage here, so even the back sides of the garage are staggered. I'm gonna walk down these steps very carefully so I don't fall. Wow. Yeah, so this deck does not look like it's in good shape at all. In fact, it looks like it's in horrendous shape. I don't even think I'm gonna chance that, to be honest with you guys. The way it's leaning everywhere, I don't think it's gonna go well for me. We'll just take a quick walk over here. Wow. So they have glass railings on both levels. That's something you probably would have seen added in the last 20 years. That's a bit more of a modern thing. That would have been not something you would have seen in the 70s. But yeah, look at this. This deck's in horrendous shape. I'm not chancing it, so I apologize now. I don't want to fall through and die. Hope you guys understand. And you can see this backyard is absolutely huge. Look how it goes into wilderness. That's really nice too. But the gazebo back there by the wilderness, it just gives this place a feeling of seclusion, like it's in the middle of nowhere, completely private. Of course, you got more trees that are cut down and left there. And it seems like we have a cool pool space over here. And of course, that's the back side of the house. And yeah, it's huge, guys. It's absolutely huge. Like I said, it's probably about 4,500, 5,000 square feet. Really big place. Really grand place. And these pedestals that are holding up the deck here, very reminiscent of the ones that are out front. So that's going to add to my theory that something used to be above them. Maybe it was a carport at one point. So over here, I'm not sure what this would have been. My guess is it could be a hot tub built in here, or it's a little deck space, but it seems small to have chairs and a table. So I kind of wish I knew what this was. I wish it wasn't winter. We might have more answers. But yeah, this is cool. So it looks like there's 2 levels to the basement, perhaps. There's a basement for sure right there. Wow, very cool. Of course, if we work our way over here, we have, wow, there's lots of windows on the backside too. Look at that, that's a huge window. Yeah, this is the pool area over here. Of course, you got sliding doors going into the house. So they got a nice basement walkout. And just look at that. That's like algae or mold on the bottom of the glass. Probably algae. And of course, they got a pool area behind me here. Let's see if we can check this out without falling into anything. Oh yeah, you can see the pool outline. Beautiful area. This would have been a great spot in the summertime. Just look at that view into the distance. Just beautiful. Forest everywhere. You're totally swimming in nature. Completely private. Alone. Away from everybody. Of course, the back side of the house here. Tons of windows on the basement level. You got tons up there. But look at that. Everything, all the wood structure is absolutely terrible. It's actually collapsing right there. So yeah, we'll be completely avoiding the deck even from inside, guys, just to remain safe today. And of course, we're not going to walk on this because I don't know how frozen it is. But that's a nice big pool. It's got a bit of a bend to it. Great spot to go swimming. So let's see what's inside the pool cabana. And then we'll work our way in. So over here, oh, the door is not going to open, but it really doesn't look like much is in there. It's just storage, probably for the pumps and everything. Here, it looks like they might have had a bar. Maybe we can see that from this side. Okay, so yeah, this is mostly pool mechanical stuff. You've got a pool heater there. And maybe this was like a bar. I'm not really sure. Like, it's not really nice. There's nothing back here you would serve your guests from. But obviously they opened the cabana for something at some point. It's quite interesting. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up the outside part of the tour. I don't really want to take you all the way back there. There's really no point. So on that note, let's stop dilly-dallying back here. Let's work our way inside this one, see what we can figure out about it. All right, guys, we're gonna start today's adventure just inside the front doors of this one in this incredible front foyer area. We're gonna work our way around the first floor, then make our way upstairs and finish this one off in the basement. Like I mentioned out front, this place was built back in 1977, and it's been sitting abandoned now for about 10 years, with the most unbelievable part being that there seems to be no plans for anything to take place of this house, which is just absolutely crazy to see a place like this sitting in this static state for so long. So right away, I'll show you guys this incredible walk-in. You have these amazing double doors, which we saw in our walk around out front there. And you've got this incredible wall of shuttered windows, letting in a ton of light into this house, especially when they're open, giving a ton of natural light to absolutely light up this beautiful entryway. And as I back up, let me just show you what makes this place so fantastic. This place has the most incredible staircase that runs upstairs. It almost looks like something you would see in a commercial building or a mall. And upstairs, they have like a skylight roof, like a dome that's raised from the rest of the roof with skylights going around the wall. And it's just absolutely incredible looking. Again, letting in tons of natural light, which I think is going to be one of the most amazing features of this really interesting looking home. And like I said, you come into the home and this is immediately what you're greeted with. One of the most grand entryways I think we've ever seen doing a video like this. And from this point, you can either work your way around the house this way in front of me, which would be to the right of the front door, or you can work your way around to the left of the front door. I think today we'll start with the left since the end of the house is pretty much right there, and we'll kind of work our way through the longer part of the house. So right away, you enter this room, and again, you're greeted with more really interesting architectural design features, which are just really wild. This place seems to be really different than anything we've seen. You've got this wall here that's a lookout down to the basement, which is really, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. And you can see there's an incredible fireplace down there, a really cool looking bar. So there's gonna be some really cool things that we see when we go down there. And of course, as you look at the back half of this floor, it's also very open concept with this glass walled room here, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Really interesting place. Of course, as you turn around here, you can see there's signs of how long this place has been sitting abandoned. You've got drywall missing from the ceiling. You've got insulation and turds all over the floor there. So this is actually, kind of fallen into a real sad state of affairs over time. But again, these front windows looking out, just an incredible feature. Let's work our way around back. And you can see you got a little bit of a corridor here. Again, there's also a look down here. So you have another look at these really impressive stairs here. And there's just a little gap for the light from the skylight to make it through. But again, this entire floor is very open concept. The stairs are clearly the focal point of this area. Of course, as you come back here, you've got like a back living room or family room space. It's a very large space. You can see the flooring in here is still the original terracotta tile that they used. The other part of the upstairs here, they had hardwood running through this room here. So that's probably original as well. But you can see, a lot of this hasn't been touched since they built this place, especially this flooring. And this room has an incredible walkout onto that deck there, but as you can see, it's leaning heavily to the left. The decks here were not safe, as you guys could see when we were outside doing the walk around. So we're not even gonna bother stepping out onto them. But I will just kind of open the window or the door here if I can. I cannot, it's completely stuck. So we won't be looking out there at all. So this is a really interesting feature. And I bet you at one point this room was probably closed in differently, but now it's been closed in with this like commercial looking glass wall and glass door. And I can only presume that this room back here was probably an office. It looks like something that would have been used as an office space. And again, it's on the corner of the house. Got lots of window space letting in natural light, another great feature of the back side of this house as well. And as you look down at the flooring in here, this is not real hardwood. This looks more like early 2000s laminate flooring. And you can see this place definitely was used as an office in a different time. You still have cable TV wire there, which is RG6. You got some old phone hookups for probably an office phone and a fax machine. And you got a couple outlets that are just missing from the wall. But a really interesting space. Really strange to see it closed in, but again, it would be like a private office, and they probably use the glass to really let the light from all the sources of light in the house pass through. Again, it's one of the amazing design features of this house, is how the light, natural light, seems to work its way through every part. And of course, as we come back out into this room, give you guys an incredible look at the stairs from here. And of course, from here, you can see right down to the basement as well. It's gonna be really cool down there, I think. But these stairs are just really unreal. Never seen anything like that before. So as we go this way, we can actually go two directions. One takes us right into the kitchen. The other direction takes us back towards the front doors and the stairs to the second floor. And of course, this is to look at those. And of course, I gotta show you the incredible skylight while we're here. Just absolutely amazing. And of course, if you walk a little further, we have the stairs down to the basement there. And of course, if I come right here, this brings us back to where I started the video. So that's pretty much a good chunk of the first floor here. And since we're standing right here, why don't we work through this way? Right here, you've got the big closet here. So this would have been the front hallway closet. This is where everybody would have hung their jackets and left their shoes and whatnot. And behind me, we have the bathroom here. Of course, I'm hiding my bag in there, so pay no attention. But you can see the bathroom seems to have, no, it doesn't. It's original cabinetry. So the cupboards in here are actually original to when they built the house, as are the floors again. You can see they've taken the toilet out and plugged the hole. But the only thing that's really changed over the years is they put this really nice sink in here, and they put the new countertop and that tile backsplash, which looks very modern, probably from the last 12 to 15 years. So from here, we come back out to the main hallway again. And this time we're gonna go further this way into the house. And wow, yeah, this is a great looking room too. Now this could also be a family room. This house has a lot of large rooms, so naming them could be a little difficult, especially when you're used to a house with a single dining room and a single family room. This to me could be a family room. There's clearly no chandelier hanging from the middle of the ceiling, so this isn't a dining room space. And this room has a really beautiful fireplace, beautiful brickwork running all the way up to the ceiling here. Got some old school pot lights there, and of course, when this place was built, those were very expensive to have installed in your home. But just a wonderful, beautiful colored wood burning fireplace. This would have been something that would have been beautiful on a cold day like today, I'll tell you guys that. That is something I miss in my house. Of course, this room has got all the tile flooring again. There's no hardwood. And the tile choice running through most of this floor so far is a little bit strange to me. It's a little bit colder and less welcoming than I would say a hardwood would feel, but it's also easy to clean. So there is that argument. And of course, standing from here, we're looking back to the hallway. That is the side of the fireplace there. And they've got a nice walkout to the deck here as well. Again, the deck is very unsafe, so we're not even gonna go out there. That's what it looks like from here. That's about all we're gonna do with the deck. If we go further this way, we got a very retro looking laundry room. Just look at that countertop. Very retro, very original to when they would have built this place. And as you look around, nothing in this room's changed either. And again, there's lots of signs of it being abandoned for a long time. You got tons of dead bugs and things collecting over the counter. I'm sure everything will be empty. Looks that way, other than the nuts and bolts. Yeah, there's not much here. So we're not gonna go digging too much because this is quite a big place, being about 4,500, 5,000 square feet. Of course, you can see they have a closet in the laundry room here. But yeah, this is kind of a cool room. The cabinets are actually very nice and clean. And you can see from the hinges there, they are original to when they built this place more than likely. But there's nothing left behind. It's a beautiful tub, or a sink though. I always call them tubs, but that's a beautiful porcelain sink for a laundry room. And of course you have like a kitchen sink right next to it for some reason. So from here, we can get into that 3-car garage we walked by outside. And wow, it's full of junk in here. Like garbage, there's cut down trees, there's a lot of random stuff in here. We'll go this way and see what's over here. So this looks like a little storage area. I don't know if they kept animals in here. Looks like they might have. That's like kind of caged in. The floor is elevated from the actual garage floor. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to see in here. I'm not sure what this room would have been. You guys can tell me in the comments what you think. So we'll go back out here, see if we can work through this garage. I don't know if we'll be able to. You can see they got an old sink there, and that's a really old one, just from that faucet. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Looks like you got, those are either condensers. I think they're condensers from an AC system, or filters or something. But you got like piles of drywall. You got an old man-made ladder here out of wood, 2x4s. But look at this, all the trees and junk. It's just all piled up in the garage. Why? It's so strange. This is just really friggin' weird. It's like a beaver dam in here. Really weird. Oh yeah, we never would have lifted those doors if we tried outside. The springs are off, so they're done. They're not even on tracks. This one's got a garage door opener, so it could be opened if there was power. But yeah, pretty crazy. The weirdest thing is all those 50-gallon drums they have over there. Would love to know what's in those. And they got a circuit breaker on the wall there, and that's pretty much it. We're not going to go wandering over there because there's really not much more to see. But this is a very, very strange garage. Perhaps the strangest I've ever seen. All right, so we're going to work our way back into the house now. And we're going to go back through this room here. And we're going to check out the kitchen because we haven't done that yet. You can see the scrappers have probably been here over the years for whatever they could steal. So this kitchen's pretty cool because it's got 2 ways into it. And you could see this has definitely been abandoned for a long time. Just look at the amount of dust that's piling up on these counters. And they're beautiful counters. These are granite countertops. So they're probably a little bit more modern. But these cabinets, actually those are more modern too. You can tell by the hinges. So it looks like they did the kitchen over at some point. You can see the raccoon prints there. And that's an interesting mirrored backsplash. It's quite a huge kitchen. It's got a ton of counter space. They have a beautiful gas cooktop there in the island here. And this island also could have had chairs. You see there's room there, there's a ledge there. So you could have had like bar type of chairs at this end here for seating. And this would have been like an area maybe to just have snacks for a quick meal. And I'm assuming one of the rooms just outside the kitchen would have been used as an actual eating area, dining area. Of course, this is looking back to the entryway we just came in. Again, you can see the sinks are beautiful there. Now the sinks are on an island, but what's really cool about this island is you still get a view out the window. And the main sink here is actually pretty much centered, so kudos to them for that. Sometimes they can't even get that right when the sink's a foot away from the outside wall. And yes, just like the rest of the house, tons of windows again, tons of natural light, and that's an incredible view to that backyard there. Absolutely huge backyard. Obviously we didn't walk at all because it's mostly snow. You're not going to see too much. And again, an incredible view of the extremely dangerous deck here. And of course, that's the door we were looking at earlier. I would have loved to go on this deck, but it absolutely looked horrible when we were back there. And to make things, make me look a little smarter, there's even a note here saying, do not walk on decks. So we're not going to fool around with that. We know they're serious. So another feature about this kitchen that shows you how fancy it was when they did this renovation is the refrigerator actually blends right in with the wall cabinets here. And that's a pretty cool feature. These look like they pull out. No, they're doors. That's cool. Yeah, these are definitely newer. And I bet you the fridge is empty, but let's take a look. It's empty, and it's surprisingly clean. So unfortunately, the fans that love to watch me choke on the awful odors coming out of this fridge, you're gonna be disappointed today, because other than that little bit of mold there, this fridge is pretty clean. Pretty cool too. It's a nice fridge. Of course, this would work back this way again. You get an idea of how much counter space they have just on this island alone. And of course, it's got lots of storage space with all the cupboards and drawers beneath. I'm sure they're empty. Yeah, it seems everything is empty in this house. So like I said, we won't dig too much. And of course, over here, you have another area to work with. And of course, it has beautiful reflective backsplash as well. And over here, you have the wall oven and the microwave built into this unit here. And these look like they're, probably 90s upgrades. That microwave looks like an early 90s microwave. So does the oven. It's not quite as similar to something from the early 2000s. So I would say this kitchen, based on the microwave and the oven and just the way everything looks, it looks like it was done probably early 90s, maybe the late 80s. But I would say probably 91 to 94 this kitchen was renovated. That's what it looks like to me. So from here, this takes us back to this room here. And I wouldn't be surprised if this room was the dining space, really. It would make sense. There's a spot to hang a light up there. And a beautiful walkout from a dining room certainly wouldn't be a bad thing. Let's work our way over here now. We'll go upstairs. See what we can find up there. You can see the stairs have nice hardwood steps. Very nice, original feature still. And as we get closer, you're gonna see the walls are stucco. Again, that's something that was very common in this era. Late 70s, early 80s, stucco was everywhere. And of course, from up here, you gotta just see this view again. That's just an incredible skylit area there. Very beautiful. Obviously, the chandelier has seen better days. But the architecture of the stairs with the skylights above, just absolutely amazing. And of course, the light works through every bit of this house from all angles, which is really cool. Of course, as we come over here, you can see the front entryway from a different angle. Very beautiful again. And we'll work our way up. I love the open concept of this house. It's one of the coolest places I've seen in quite some time. So from up here, that's the view you get. Again, those skylights, absolutely incredible. You can see the weather seals are dropping in every single window, so they're probably original, never been maintained. But what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful staircase. Just a great combination. So when you get to the top of the stairs, immediately to your right, we have this little narrow room here. And this looks to be nothing more than a storage closet. They didn't have any shelving or hangers or anything ever installed in here, so I'm assuming it's just a large storage room, and that's about it. As we come back out here, I just noticed the flooring in the hallway is original hardwood. That's very nice. And the room to our right here, you can see is like early 2000s laminate again. And it looks like this room's like a guest room or a kid's room. And you can see people have had some fun in here. They painted the walls white once, and it looks like people have just splattered stuff everywhere. It was a splatter party in this room. Kind of takes away all the character this room once would have had. But I would presume this is probably a kid's room. Again, it's got a couple of nice windows letting in lots of light. You get a nice view outside too. Of course, you could see the roof structure a lot better from this room. Again, the roof here is quite impressive. And of course, we go over here and we got a closet. And it looks like somebody wrote trespass or something on the wall and got painted over. So maybe somebody tried to cover up graffiti and that's why most of the room is white. But again, you can see this is a closet, but this one actually had shelving in at one point that's just all been pulled down. And you've just got the wall plugs left that would have held the shelves up. So from here, we go back out to the main hallway. Again, you get that incredible view coming out of this room. And we'll work our way down this way more. And in here, we got a walk-in linen closet more than likely. And you can see this one here still has all the shelving. And that shelving is very typical from the 80s and 90s. And it looks like somebody covered over a hole in the wall with that plywood there. And of course you have more shelving here that probably would have been for blankets and linens and whatnot. And again, this is the view coming back out. And of course now you can see the other side of the skylight a little more clearly. Very beautiful feature. I'm probably going to mention it every time I leave a room because it's that cool. As we go over here, look at this, we got a bathroom. And right away you can see they've renovated but kept some original features. They still have the original cabinets still hanging. But you can see the tile on the floor is much more modern. It's like a 1x2 tile. And this is like a makeup area over here. Love the cabinets. Lots of storage, very nice looking cabinets, even from the era. And again, they've got the same kind of quartz or whatever countertop that the kitchen has. So it looks like and they even have the same backsplash on this side as you see. Actually, this is the same as the bathroom downstairs, sorry. So it looked like they did do some minor renovations to this place probably 15, 20 some odd years ago. It's a very nice pedestal sink. I think that's what you call them, or a basin sink. And it looks like the other one was taken from here. This was a Jack and Jill setup at once. So as you go over here then, okay, yeah, there once was a toilet here. It is no longer here, so they just have an open hole to the sewage there. Of course, you have another window with a beautiful view looking outside. And look at that shower. That's a nice big shower. Beautiful marble tile on the walls. And it still has the original tile on the flooring, but you can see they've taken all the copper and all the fixtures out of here, so that's really all you can see. And of course, as we go back this way, you can see that's a fairly modern light hanging on the ceiling there. That's like a Home Depot light of the last 20 years. So going out to the hallway again, we will continue to work our way to the right here through this closed door. And once again, we got another bedroom, and this one's quite large, wow. And this is much different than what we just seen. It's obviously been painted probably in the last 15 years just from the color scheme. But what I really like about this room is they have a chair rail breaking up the two colors. I always like chair rails and wainscoting. I think they're very classy looking. Definitely adds to the room. And it definitely makes the room look quite nice if you ask me. And this room's no exception. It's beautiful. I love the colors being broken up by that chair rail. This is one of the least windowed rooms we've seen so far, and it's still got a huge 3-pane window in here. But yeah, look at that. They got a double closet there. Take a closer look. There's really not much left. They got the shelving in there, but these closets are actually separate. It's like a his and hers closet. But I don't believe this is a master bedroom because there's no ensuite bathroom here. And you can see that window is wide open, exposing this house to the elements. It is a cold day. It's about -5 Celsius right now. It's January 2nd, so Happy New Year. Oh, look at that, blood splatter. Okay, that's not blood splatter, but we'll pretend it is. So over here, we got another bedroom. And this room is quite large as well. It's got a very similar window to the room we were just in. This one is the majority of the back wall, so this room really didn't need an extra window. The other room could have used an extra one, I think. But as you look around, looks like they had cabinetry or something on the walls. There was some kind of a countertop or something running through here. And it looks like all that's been taken out. Interestingly, you have some really old wallpaper. Obviously, this was a kid's room at one point in time. And you got like circus wallpaper there, and that's all they have left of it. So that was probably hidden behind some kind of a cabinet at one point in time. And just like the last room, this room also has a double closet too. And this one here, you can see they have a little bit more of a modern cubby system in here. You got the shelving in the middle, or the drawers in the middle, with the cubbies above and shelves on each side. And as you come to this side probably had a very similar setup, but you can see it's since been removed. So leaving this room will take us right back out. And again, you get another incredible view of the skylight area. Absolutely beautiful. And that leaves one direction left for us to go, which is this way. And this will probably be the master bedroom. And yeah, this is definitely the master bedroom. This is a huge room. Again, the paint colors look like they might have been done in the last 15 to 20 years. They have an accent wall that's one color. And then you got the rest of the room in this darker gray color. The flooring in here is also original, just like the rest of upstairs has been so far for the most part. I would assume all the baseboards and everything are original too. And of course, up here has another walkout too. I presume that every walkout in this house is in terrible shape, so we're not going to try any of them. Look, they even had a wasp nest in here at one point. But yeah, this one's not leaning at least, but just based on how the other ones look, I'm not going to risk it. But again, what an incredible view. Just an incredible view looking back into the woods in that large backyard. What an incredible day to start your day. You wake up, you look out there, and you just see that beauty and know that that's yours. That's just unbelievable. It's really kind of crazy to think that this place has sat abandoned for so long. You can see a stress crack running along the entire middle of the ceiling in this room. Of course, as we go this way, they have an ensuite bathroom. And they also have a couple of closets, and they're not doored off, but they are walk-ins. And you can see again, they have that very typical shelving from the 80s and 90s installed in here. Probably a minor upgrade at some point in time. You can see somebody robbed all the piping again from the tub there. And of course, if I turn around and go this way, you have another closet here. And this one actually has a shoe rack built into the wall too. So that's pretty cool. It's a beautiful closet. Really like that a lot. Of course, we go into here and we've got a bathroom that has been modernized somewhat. You've got the same 1x2 tiles running through this floor or this room here. It almost looks like slate, but it's not. And of course, you can see the toilet has some really disgusting sludge in there. So maybe the brown bomber or the golden goddess was here a long time ago. You can see the tub is a beautiful jacuzzi, and it's original to the house. There's the access panel to the motors and everything on the side of it there. But yeah, this is definitely an older unit. You can see all the tiling in the shower appears to be original as well. And of course, as we go this way, that's where the faucet and everything would have been at one point in time, but of course it's all been stolen now. Of course, as you look down into the tub, the brown bomber and his friends, the raccoons, hung out here. So they had a bit of a poo party in the tub. Now, as we go this way, you can see this is definitely a modern vanity. It's floating, it's hanging off the wall. And they've got a beautiful Jack and Jill sink set up here. And of course, you can see the fixtures. The faucets are very, very modern. Probably last 15 years, they probably would have done this. Really beautiful. I love how these sinks are kind of built into the countertop together. I think this is a great setup. The only thing wrong with it is there's not much counter space if you want to put stuff there. And of course, this bathroom has an incredible view out to the side yard there through this beautiful window, letting in, a decent amount of light for a bathroom. And of course, they also have a skylight. So that's a great feature too. So almost every part of this house seems to have an open concept to natural light, which is quite beautiful if you ask me. Now let's see this incredible staircase and skylight one last time from this angle. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And of course, I got to look down and show you. That's really amazing. All right, guys, let's work our way down to the basement now. And we're going to wrap this one up. Just taking these stairs are absolutely amazing. Of course, the broken glass everywhere kind of ruins it a little bit. It's a shame to see that, but surprisingly, this house is in good shape for how long it's been sitting abandoned. All right, so this is the walkway to the basement. Let's see what we got down here. You see somebody punched a hole in the wall there, probably looking for pipes or something. A few holes. Again, the stucco theme seems to follow all the way through. You can see the inside of this staircase going down is just filled with stucco on all the walls. And of course, here's this, oh, there's Ethan down at the bottom of the stairs. And here we are. You can see the design is consistent all the way through from the upstairs floor down to the basement. I really like this. These stairs are just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this before. So down here, we've got like a huge entertainment area. And look at this thing. Look at this. It's like a stove or an insert fireplace. Yeah, it's on its side. Okay, yeah, this is like a fireplace insert. And it's got blowers. That's really cool. That thing looks pretty retro too. I wouldn't be surprised if that's from the 70s. I'm surprised it's just sitting there like that. Circulating heat from a fireplace is the best way to warm up a house, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a really cool piece. And of course, from here, you can see what the stairs look like again. You can see Ethan in the lobby up there, or the foyer up there, and you can see the light from up there works its way all the way down. And this room's a great space too. It's got a nice little walk out to the yard, which we were out in earlier. And of course, that's the swimming pool area there that's completely fenced off. And over here, look at this. They got a bar area. And this bar looks like it's stuck in the 1970s. Just look at that. Wow. The countertop looks super retro. It's carpeted, which is really bizarre. Really crazy looking. And you can see it's particle board, and it's been getting rough, probably from sitting. Of course, this is a view behind the bar. Take you right back here, you get a full tour. Wow, that's the fireplace we saw from upstairs. We'll check that out in a minute. Of course, the bar has a couple rows of shelving underneath the counter. And of course, over here, you got cupboards and more countertop with a little bar sink there. And again, there's splatter all over the walls. It almost looks like they played paintball. But again, another great feature of this room, I know they're closed, but you've got shuttered windows running along this exterior wall. Of course, letting in tons of natural light for a basement. That is incredible. Basements aren't usually well lit like that. So if we go over here, we have this incredible basement fireplace area. And again, the masonry work in this house has just been incredible. Both fireplaces we've seen are just absolutely beautiful. Amazing brickwork, amazing color bricks. But this one even has like, you know, it's got like the range hood type of brickwork here. It's like a range hood out of brick. I don't know what this is called. I know someone's going to correct me now. Please tell me in the comments. But that is just a really cool feature that I've only ever seen in houses that were built in this era. And this was once a real wood-burning fireplace, and I'm willing to bet that insert probably found its home in there. And again, looking around this basement, it's just an incredible view from down here. Very open concept. Look at that. They have one of the giant intercoms. So again, they had lots of money. They didn't just have the regular size ones. They have the giant ones. I haven't seen too many intercoms left in this place. So I guess most of them were taken, or I just missed them. I'm sure you guys will tell me if I missed them. Of course, going this way, the house kind of winds around. So let's check that out. Over here, we have a pink bathroom. Again, the original tiles are still in here, as is the original cabinetry. And it looks like the countertop with the sink built in is from the 70s as well. Have the original toilet probably. And there's no brown or no turds in there, so the brown bomber didn't come here. But there is a turd in the shower. There's a few in the shower. And that's a cool shower. It's a bit narrow for me. I would feel a little bit stuck in this one. But it's a nice deep shower. And it even has a light up there, which is a great feature from those days. But yeah, it's got a couple of handles on the wall, so it was to assist somebody. I know some of the viewers say they're handy for everybody, but I've never needed an assist handle in the shower, at least not yet. So coming back this way, we got a couple directions to go still. We got this room here. Oh wow, it's a really pink room. Again, another really large window. It's the majority of this room's wall. And the shutters they have on the windows throughout this entire house, they're absolutely beautiful. They would have been very expensive to put up. They definitely cared about this place and spent as much money as they could to make it the most beautiful home they could have. And again, this looks like it could have been a bedroom or something. You got a nice cubby system in the corner here. That would have been for storage. Actually, there's a checkerboard there. Maybe this was a games room. That makes sense too. Doesn't really look like it's set up for a bedroom, but this could have been like a games room. Either way, it's a cool room. Really like the setup down here. And this room has one of the smaller intercoms and it's still left behind. So that's cool to see. Coming back out this way, we'll continue down the hall a little further. There's another basement. Okay, so we'll check that out last. Over here, this is the bottom of the stairs. Of course, it's walled off, so you can't get on the stairs from here. So over here is a little bit of wasted space. As you can see, there's an area underneath the stairs here that really has no purpose except maybe to put things for storage, or I don't even know what you'd put here really. I probably wouldn't put anything. You guys tell me in the comments, what would you do with that kind of a space? Over here, this was a gym. They had a full gym in the basement at one point in time. Ethan was telling me that earlier. It's obviously been stripped out now. Even the furnace is all gone except for the venting that's left. But this area here was a gym at one point in time. They had a big mirror on the wall over there. And you can see this room's just been totally gutted for everything that was worth anything, basically. The flooring still got the original, oh no, that's subflooring. So they probably had carpet in here at one point, which is gone. But yeah, they had a nice glass mirror there to work out in front of at one point. Of course, this room also has a nice walkout to the yard, which we kind of saw in our walk around earlier. And it's a big room. You could have had, weight racks, you could have had some machines, you could have had a lot of stuff in here to get a lot of working out done. Another cool thing I'm noticing, they have a tile floor by the sliding door here coming in from outside. What we got back here? This looks like a shower. Oh, it's a bathroom. It's what's left of a bathroom. Gotta know. Brown Bomber wasn't here, which is surprising. But yeah, you can see this room's pretty stripped down. I guess at one point in time, this room might have had wood paneling or something on the walls. All that's been taken down, long gone. You can see the tiling on the floor is original to when they built this place. And there's a timer there, so they probably had a heat lamp at one point too. Of course, you go in here. This would have been a shower, I presume. Oh, it was a sauna. Okay, so what was stripped off the walls was cedar, because there's your sauna heater there. And of course, you have your tile floors again. Yeah, that makes sense, because these walls would have at one point been covered with cedar. And this room would have had benches in here so you could sit by the sauna and enjoy yourself. So that's cool. You come down here, you have a nice good workout, then you go hang out in the sauna afterwards to relax. That's very cool. Not many people get to enjoy both of those in the same house. And of course, over here, we have the electrical room, the phone room, the alarm room. All this stuff would have been in here, all the connections for everything. Of course, now it's an empty room. Most of it's been stripped. They would have had some storage in here too. Look at this. Look at this. They got 3 power. Wow. That's a meter cabinet there. That's crazy. And over here, they had a main disconnect. Look at these. These look commercial. They're so big. And over here on this wall here, they just had some basic storage for whatever they were going to keep in there. Wow, that is just wild. It's crazy when you go in a house and they've got like the power set up for like a mall. That is crazy. And of course, now we're back out to this room here. We'll work our way back out to the other part of the basement, and I think that's going to wrap this one up here. Okay, so this is the last room of the basement here. Well, you can see there's some, I think that's mold on the floor there. You definitely can see it's starting to get rough from water or moisture. And yeah, this is like a storage room here. Looks like some of the blueprints from the house are still here. It's exactly what this is. That's for outside. That's for the gazebo in the back. Oh, wow. That is so cool. All this just left behind. When does this say it was made? Oh, these might be for renovations. These say 1989, so these are probably for some renovations they made. Interesting. And of course, you go further in here and you got some missing stuff off the wall in here. I'm not really sure what they would have had down here. It's not like they had a sump pump or anything. They do have mold now, you can see. Wow. Pretty cool. But one thing I didn't show you yet, they have an amazing cedar closet here. And just look at this. It's got the tacky wood paneling on the outside dating to the 70s. But as soon as you poke your head inside, beautiful cedar closet. And again, it's got the same shelving we've seen in every closet in this house. Pretty unreal. Beautiful stuff. Okay, so now, oh, look at that. That's a cool knob. I know these are cheesy doors, but that's a pretty cool knob from the 70s there. Okay, now that we're done with this part of the basement, we got that one part further that we didn't see yet, and that's gonna wrap this one up. So why don't we see what's down here? You can see these are still the contractor stairs, just painted. And of course, you can see some piping and whatnot here. So what's down here? Is this like a dungeon? Is this a jail? What is this? Well, right away, I'm gonna have to watch my head because there's low beams. But yeah, this looks like, to me, this is all mechanical. So there's actually 2 furnaces in this house because the workout room had a furnace as well. And you can see there's another one here, and this one looks to be, I think this is a fairly old unit. It's got the old dehumidifier there. But yeah, this is like the basement of the house. There's really not a whole lot down here. This is basically storage space. They would have put their junk in, probably maintenance stuff for the house. But otherwise, yeah, there's not a whole lot to see down here, which is kind of unfortunate. But I guess the cool part of the basement was where we just were, where the workout room was and the bar and everything. This is just basically the bowels of the house where all the mechanical stuff was left. And that's pretty much all there is to this. You go over here, you're just walking along the foundation, and you can see right there under the stairs, that's where they kept their paint and just leftover crap from the house basically to maintain it. Well, yeah, that's really all there is down here. Kind of surprised to see that there's not much else here, but it is what it is. So yeah, on that note, guys, I think that means we've seen every inch of this house now. Every inch. So I hope you guys enjoyed coming on this adventure with me. If you did, please make sure that you hit that like button. And of course, share the video out. Leave a comment about something I said or something you saw. And of course, I gotta ask you all to take advantage of that new hype feature of YouTube. Smash that button up to 3 times to really help push my video in YouTube's algorithm to tell them that I make good content and it will get to other viewers. All right, guys. That's all the time we have for today's adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed coming on this one with me. This was an absolutely incredible home that we had a chance to visit today. Built back in 1987, and unfortunately now has been sitting abandoned for about 10 years in this static state. And as you can see from today's Explore, the place is starting to fall into quite a state of disrepair, and there's no saving this one anymore. And it's quite a shame because as we walked through this place today, it was just chock full of incredible features. From all the rooms that feature tons of windows like this kitchen area here, and the hallway, the incredible skylights, the still original floors. This was a really special place that at one point in time was a well-loved and cared-for home, and you can see that from everything we saw today walking through this one. If you guys enjoyed coming on this adventure with me, please make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment about something you saw in the video, share it out, and of course, hype it up to 3 times to really help push this video in YouTube's algorithm. Well, that's all the time we have for today's Explore. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this one, please make sure you hit that subscribe button over there. Check out last week's video down there. Check out the random video up there. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.